here. Getting a little big for their britches. Yeah, Vodenosi are dudes. His wages. Be exactly breaking even if I raise wages. All the clans belong to us. Gotta get that central. I think we start out with higher central. Anyway, it is now 1 p.m. Mountain Time. We are going to take a break for about 15, maybe 20 minutes, and we'll be back. We will play some more Imperator. Also might have an after party because I am aware that Twitch has a karaoke app now. I've been encouraged to check it out by multiple people, so we might actually do some of that at the end of the stream here. So we're gonna take like a 20-minute break and then come back for like another, I don't know, hour and 40 minutes or so. Close out the stream for the day. See you guys then. Get a shot to get people to join the stream here. I'm gonna hit print screen while I'm pointing at the screen. This is gonna be a challenge. There we go. Did it. Successfully did it. Not tea. Okay. I've wiped half of the blue off of my face already. Alright, I think we're going to play maybe 40-45 more minutes of Imperator, and then we might try something a little bit different. So for those of you just joining us, we definitely didn't try to play as the Helvetii and fall on our faces and fail. We always meant to play as the Auvergne, and that's who we're playing as. That was the plan all along. So yeah, the Auvergne, as I mentioned very briefly, were responsible. Their king Vercingetorix was responsible for one of the largest rebellions of the Gauls against Roman rule, kind of the last major rebellion against Roman rule. There was a later rebellion in Gaul a couple centuries later, but it wasn't really like fighting for the independence of the Gaulish people, since Gaul had already started to become pretty Romanized at that point. Anyway, mention property taxes, pay for our armies, help pay for our wages, and yeah, I believe we're gonna go after the Biturges first. Now that we have all of our provinces properly collecting taxes, start saving fabricated clay. That'll be our first path of expansion. Avaricum, which was a major Celtic oppidum, these big fortified hill forts. Actually, if you play the Caesar and Gaul campaign for Total War Rome 2, whatever your opinions about Rome 2 are, oh, I didn't switch the camera back, did I? There we go. Alright, now you can actually see the game. So yeah, we're probably going to go to war with these guys next. Yeah, I was talking about Oppidia. There were these big fortified Gallic hill forts. If you play the Caesar and Gaul campaign for Rome 2, they actually do a very good job of showing what these may have looked like based on archaeological reconstruction. They're very advanced fortifications for the time, which is why even Caesar had a pretty hard time with them. He just happened to come up with the idea to build a fort around your fort, and to build another fort around that fort. Isn't something that the Gauls had really accounted for. Nobody had really accounted for it. Tried to do. A group of soldiers belonging to the army controlled by Lugatorix Vodensis. He the clan chiefs and our likely next ruler, except that he will probably die before our current ruler. Has, while stationed on a peaceful deployment, absconded in order to pillage the nearby city of Auvergne, right here. What is more concerning is that Lugatorix is refusing to punish his legions, citing their extreme loyalty as the reason. This is something that could definitely happen in a tribal society back in this time period. You have a large band of warriors that are, they're loyal to their chieftain. They don't necessarily, as we talked about earlier, have the idea that there's not a nation called Auvergne. Like there's the Auvergne people who live in this region. They probably move around a lot. There's no real concept of a nation state, and yeah, this retinue, this comitatus, as the Romans would call it, that are loyal to this particular clan chief, they might just decide to sack a village because we want some shinies, we're hungry, we want women, unfortunately enough, might have been another motivator. So yeah, that could happen. Just, they acted like roving bands of bandits sometimes. Although, if you're an anarchist, you might just say that all governments are ultimately roving bands of bandits. Let's see. Left in the disagreeable position of having to choose between forcing our general to crucify his own soldiers. I don't think the Gauls practiced crucifixion, but probably there was some form of capital punishment that would be available to us. Or appearing weak and soft, we can't help but feel that Lugatorix knows precisely what he was doing. So he can lose 20 loyalty. We lose 800 manpower. The province gets looted either way. It's just a matter of, do we want to piss off the general and make him kill some of his own men? Or do we want to gain loyalty? But we would lose popularity because that's not very, that's not a display of justice. I think we need to make him face justice. Lugatorix, he's a polymath, so he knows a lot about a lot of things. Also foolish, so he's your standard internet commenter. He reads a lot of Wikipedia, but he also doesn't know half as much as he thinks he does. Let's see. Original thinker, not necessarily fit, but this guy's complex. It's difficult to actually get a picture of how his intellect would manifest itself. And cautious. Well, he clearly wasn't cautious when he let his men go rampaging around. We're gonna punish. We're gonna put to death the looters. Gonna risk his loyalty. He is Odense. Yeah, they have a larger army than us. Their clan army is actually larger than our personal. He's also our best general. So it's kind of a problem that he's becoming disloyal. Let's see. So I think what we might do, we might give him free hands, which will also give him more money over time. But we don't want to lose his loyalty. He's 52 years old. He could be around a while longer. Definitely going to be somebody that we're going to need on our side. So it's still going down. It's going down a lot. Exalt him if we really need to. But exalting a clan chief pisses off all of your other clan chiefs, and this guy doesn't necessarily love us either. So yeah, we're going to have to... Mandalicious says, I made a thing. What did you make? Can't leave us hanging. Oh yeah, and once again, music credits. This is Kevin MacLeod. You can find his work at incompetech.com, and the songs we're using for this stream are Hidden Past, Moorland, Skye Cuillin, Heavy Heart, Folk Round, and Achaidh Cheide. It's very Celtic, and I'm rusty on my pronunciation, but that'll all be in the description whether you're watching this on the archives or on YouTube later. This is not Imperator music. This is very good royalty-free music that Kevin MacLeod has quite generously made available under Creative Commons. That I'm quite happy with. I was not thinking I was going to be able to find something royalty-free that was going to be this good for our playthrough as the Gauls. Nice to the gods to might let us. We also don't want to. We also don't want to burn all of our power and then not be able to get a blessing. Not quite there yet. So I think 200 reclaim. We'll actually. I'm gonna hold on to our religious power for now. Because we might want to save it to make sure we get the discipline bonus. That'll work. Autalis, he needs to be flogged. Give him free hands. Everybody can just be corrupt as hell. Twitter, I made a thing. Okay, let me open up my Twitter real quick. I love it. Command Delicious, you should post a link to that in chat. I love that. Oh, that's awesome. You should be very proud. Okay, so fallen ill. Apparently this guy gets sick a lot. Hopefully the Baturges don't just get annexed by someone else before we can... I mean, if they get cut down to size a little bit, that's fine. Carnutes. Okay, so they're fighting kind of a back and forth war with the Carnutes. So, look at our resource breakdown while we're waiting for this power to tank. We've got access to iron, we've got access to wine. I'm not sure how accurate that is. From what I understand, I think that Gauls produced a lot of wine. I mean, the noblemen definitely drank wine, but I don't know that they got a lot of it locally. Obviously, France is a very famous winemaking region in the modern day, and in later Europe. I'd actually have to look into whether or not the Gauls made their own wine prior to the Roman conquest and the importation of like the winemaking process. Disagreements at the highest level. Inamarchus Indutius, a man of sound reputation in Acco Vodenosus, a nobleman of great virtue, have recently started to spar furiously whilst attending the clan council. Such behavior is unbecoming of these people of stature, however, we've been called upon to take a side in this conflict. Excuse me. So this is one of our researchers of the Indutii, and this guy is a high priest. He's a member of the Vodensii, which is actually one of our major clans. So politically, this guy's family has more power. We become friends with whoever we side with, or we tell them to stop bickering and we gain popularity. I'm gonna do that. I like to rule as a guy who doesn't take any shit. Shut up and... Anyway. We produce earthenware, that's accurate. Livestock, stone, horses, cloth. Horses were fairly important to the Gauls. A lot of people think... When they think about barbarians, they're thinking more like the like lightly armored warriors, which a lot of Gauls did fight as like lightly armored or even like naked light infantry. Horses were pretty important, especially to the Gallic nobility. I mentioned earlier on in the stream that the freemen of our society essentially would be something along the lines of the Romans thought of them as equites. We might think of them as knights. So let's see. They want more funding. He wants more funding to do his job properly. Skill seems a bit arbitrary, but we've noticed certain issues when it comes to that office. Their chief magistrate. Yeah, we'll fund him. That would put us to a deficit. Gain civic power. Yeah, I think we can afford to go into some bonus. Now everybody wants money from us. A man in control of a sizable and personally loyal force has delivered a demand for additional funds. No mention is made of what these funds are to be used for, and we assume this is an attempt to assert dominance over our clan council. I guess we'll pay him. Being basically extorted by our clan chief isn't a good sign for our government. Yeah. Korea has broken their alliance with them. I do you want an alliance? Don't really want an alliance with them. Conquer them. Case. Guys. Or with the limit B. Okay. Piss off the limit. In. Passes. Guys, so we don't necessarily. That's not part of line. Then no. Necessarily need to fight them. Okay. Head with this. Back up to 4. Fight the League on the 22nd of May. Nope, they're already in a defensive. Okay. So halfway to a clan. Desperate measures, we lose one stability, that's okay. Up. Bucks. 5 years. Probably gonna have several of these events fire. I didn't realize our income was so low that it's gonna take a lot to get out of the deficit. Monthly loyalty. Okay, yeah. These are basically you have a die roll that can fire every month when you're in a deficit that like gives you some money back, but something bad might happen, or it might be that you just get gift from the gods, which is free money with downsides. So we're gonna wait. We're gonna hold off on calling down an omen. This guy's loyalty is dipping very low now. Strong-armed, and we're in deficit. Apparently we have... Okay, there we go. Now we're out of debt. That was a freebie. Take diplomatic reputation. We want our alliance to stay strong. Phase of the game. Not aligned much anymore. Let's get acquainted with our territory. So, this is what is known as the Auvergne Region in France today, which is named after the Auvergne that went through remarkably little mutation, linguistic mutation, over such a great span of time. So Gergovia is an open plain that kind of opens up to the north west and east. There's a band of forest going across kind of our eastern central border here, and then as we get into the south, we get into the very deep forests of southern France, and the Auvergne Highlands, which is actually wild enough that it's a barbarian stronghold, so fighting some barbarians. So as far as, and there's also some farmland up here that capture. So as far as using terrain to our advantage, it's mostly going to be woods. We're not really near mountains, marshes, or hills, or anything like that. Not super close. Dispute between clans. Let's see. I'm going to be super pragmatic here. So this guy has loyalty and it's going down at 0.10 per month. This guy has 40 loyalty and it's going down at 0.13 per month. Is the more dangerous person. He has a larger army and 9 military skill. If this guy rebelled, we could walk over him. He doesn't know how to lead troops out of a paper bag, basically. He has a martial skill of 2. So we are gonna favor the Vaudency if we have to. We can do bribe him, but then we would gain corruption. Trying to make friends usually costs a lot of money. I very rarely do it successfully. So, I think we'll just let him become disloyal. So now that he's below 30, his army has become automated. So he's just gonna fuck off and do whatever he wants. The Beturges have a revolt. Can I declare war on the Beturgian revolt? Question. Oh, hey, it's a civil war timer. Okay, so he's going to start a civil war. Like, we can get to see what a civil war looks like. Because he rolls a third of our cohorts. So we're just gonna get ready to jump him. I mean, he's playing for. I mean, he's upset over the land dispute, playing for control of the tribe, or possibly independence. But we're smart in who we kept as our friends, so I don't think we're gonna have that much of it. Tradition. He also just has an absolute, like, horseshit army composition. 6 archers and 1 light infantry. Epicodus and Bonus has supposedly come across a foreign agent at court, and he's heavily advising us to close the court down. Not only would it limit the potential of dangerous elements that can approach our esteemed ruler, but it would also give him the space necessary to make the correct decisions. This is the guy who's trying to start a civil war right now, and he's trying to convince us to expel other clans from the council. Epicodus and Bonus has already done a lot of the work necessary to change our council. It applies the rest of the process for us. The real question lies if we should listen to his advice or not. Number of clan chiefs -1 can be useful for keeping a realm stable once we get bigger, but during this expansion phase we actually want as many clans as possible, because their retinues are like, I mean, they're not free, but they're very useful. So no, we're not gonna kick we're not gonna kick the Vaudency off of the clan council so that you can win the civil war. Nice try though. That's it's bold. You are a bold one. No, I should probably unpause the game. We'll call down the blessing of Tyrannus as soon as we get the civil war to break out. All right, we have a civil war. of a new Clan Amboni retinue. So apparently, there's a new. It's his clan basically. There's a son or a cousin or a brother or something of his that remained loyal, now leading a detachment of that clan. Jeez, we just have nobody like good at anything. Great. Okay, so they both have 0 corruption and the same skill. This guy's younger. Both the younger guy, I think. I don't think. Alright. Now he's trying to run away. Catch him. Lugatorix, who was his rival in the land dispute. They just ran off with like all of our. All right, that was a pretty thorough thrashing. Governor, full 6 down. Wait, did the revolt take? You're good. Logistics. They're probably going to retreat to it. Okay, so the more like reddish purple. I gotta figure it out. A slightly dangerous battle without our worse army arriving first. Might lose clan retinue. Alright. I think we got this under control. Time game. Right. Your political map mode to make the bolt easier to see, sure. Yeah, so they control these 3 provinces up here, and then these 2 down here. That's about the extent of it. Captured an enemy. Fantastic. Actually, these guys should switch places. Send them down here to siege. These guys have the better general, so they should be the ones fighting battles. There's a lot of tactical nuance in Imperator that I'm a fan of. Lots of little things to consider. Definitely more than E4 or... oh yeah, I was going to call down the blessing. I don't think we're going to need... this. Gonna save some manpower by doing. What we need to do is we need to go assimilate some other tribes so that we can gain more people with skills. Our current nobility is bankrupt. And we could go to the character screen and invite some. This dude. He's already in the government. Well, there's a way you can invite characters to court who are not already at court. By a recruit. I'll have to ask John Golding how to do that. He was the one that was telling me about it in Discord. Alright. Be pretty easy. All indications are that it will. Much lower morale. Chief is militarily incompetent. Play for about. We'll play to the end of this war. That'll. Run. Way. Religious proceeding. A struggle between the religious echelons of our society and the peasants has recently come into light as the population at large feel like the religious ceremonies are inaccessible and distant. On the other hand, our high priest and his attendants demand the distance needed to do their jobs properly, and the argument the peasants have no rights to their inner workings ceremonies. We're just gonna try to please them both by having a religious proceeding. I would say that that's potentially a valid complaint. I don't know a whole lot about Celtic religion, but the ancient Nordic religion, or Germanic religion, if you prefer to take the broader view of it, there definitely was a distinction between ceremony as practiced by the nobility, like led by the chieftains at kind of the upper echelons, and the like individual cult practices of like a farmstead owner. They were very different. I don't know to what degree there might have been friction between. Didn't insult. How did we insult them? I don't want to do all of you guys. Send you some gold. They don't want to not be your friends. You have speedful thing for the beach. Ethiopia has left our defensive league. Fuck. That. Victorious! At long last, the brutal struggle with our own nation has come to a close. The remains of the armies once commanded by Epaticus Ambonus lie broken and demoralized, awaiting our judgment. Epaticus himself has been cast in irons while we decide how we should punish him and his co-conspirators for their transgressions against the people of Auvergne. Treason demands punishment, but let the soldiers live, which would give us a bunch of manpower back, or kill them all, which gives us national unrest, and all of our current characters get 10 loyalty. I think we'll let the soldiers live. It's going to put the leader, the rebellion, to death. Alright, so save that game. We have fended off a civil war and are now once again in a complex diplomatic web where we have to figure out which way is the safest way to start expanding so that we can unite all of Gaul under our rule. That is going to be it for Imperator for today. Like I mentioned at the very beginning of the stream there, if you weren't there, I am going to commit to one stream a week from now on. That's probably going to be Thursdays at around 11 Pacific time. We might end up doing it on Wednesdays sometimes if I have something to do on Thursday. But kind of plan for that. I might also look into rerunning. I know Twitch has a rerun feature, rerunning some of these streams in what would be the evening here, our time, for people in different time zones who either are at work or asleep or for whatever reason in class can't make that time. We might rerun the stream later in the night. But anyway, you should follow me on Twitter at, pointing at the right side of the screen here. No, it's over here. Achaidh Cheide, at Achaidh Cheide. That's where you get too far. All right, I should have pulled up OBS before I did that. Okay, right, there. Okay, now I'm looking at it in real time. That's the best place to find updates for when we're streaming, to be notified when we stream, other than obviously subscribing to the channel. Yeah, so I'm gonna take another very short break here, but I think I might want to try out this Twitch Sings thing and see how that goes. So we'll be back with that in just a moment.